And we're live. Open it up. Perfect.
149 smiling faces, happy to be here instantly. Look at that. 150.
We're starting promptly. Appreciate it, guys. Okay, so I think I need to get my whiteboard ready. Let me see.
I turned that feature off.
I'm gonna do my own whiteboard, but
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Like I was all the little buttons off today.
I'm gonna do the headlines and ads training. I'm gonna add it to that. I'm just gonna do a new folder in there called Power Couple and Power Team Building. So this means share the screen here. All right. Good morning, everyone. Today's gonna be a power day. Have your brains and stuff ready. I'm gonna grab a couple. Actually, we grab some now. All right, I'm doing all peanut butter because we have it now. 5, all peanut butter. Start with 1. Just put it in reference. That spray bottle, taking the whole thing at once is the same thing to me as taking 3 of these back to back to back. Feels the same. So I don't know how much your body can absorb of it, but it's definitely, I mean, you're just gonna be, and just make sure you have a lot of water because your body starts doing stuff, and you just need the water. Love that product. Love that product. Okay, so today we're gonna break down Power Couple building, and this could be, it's really the same thing we're doing with team members we're bringing in. It's literally the same, only we're going to be doing it as a couple looking to maximize everything. And I'm going to cover the strengths of it. I'm going to cover the balance part of it. And I want to go into this. And I was just talking to Tanya because we really need to do a lot of focus on this as the mindset, the stuff behind it. And we probably should do a workshop. And I think we'll do it on a Saturday, where we just go back and forth explaining how we work together to handle the balance of life and build all the businesses we build. Because it's not as easy as people might imagine, but at the same time, it might be easier than people imagine. And we just need to break it down, because we're juggling, we're just like everybody else, right? We're juggling family, right, which includes our kids and supporting them and being there for them, our grandkids, which are probably our number one priority, right, and everything that's entailed there. And then we've got all the businesses that we're doing, and we're hyper organized, which makes a big difference, but we have a set focus that we've agreed on, and we each have roles that we figure out which of us play best in. And I think that is the big area to go on. The thing about the power couple, though, is if you aren't a power couple, let's say that you're just single, or maybe you don't have a spouse. This is your thing that you do. Your spouse isn't part of this, and that's fine. That's very common. But understanding this dynamic, there's going to be people in your team that you're going to be able to do stuff like this with. Not so much balance your families together, of course, but balance the workload. And so I think it's very beneficial for everybody to know this, but also the more you understand this, when you attract in a power couple, you'll know where the guidance is, and we can have it, we can have resources to help them to make this work. There are couples out there that work really well together, and this is a great home for them. And if we know we have the resources to help train that. So just like anything, you need to know everything that's going on here, because whether it benefits you directly or not, it's going to benefit somebody in your team. So it's good to understand all this. It really is. Okay. You guys got the buttons. I'm going to not focus on that. I'm gonna go to a whiteboard scenario, and it's going to be very similar for everything we do. We have the same compensation structure. So, when you're building a binary, especially, and I'm going to break it out. I'm going to go to a whiteboard scenario. I'm going to go and build this on a page that we're all going to have backed up. So let me share my screen. I'm in the headlines and ad training. And I'll get the link. I'll put it in the chat. Everybody should have this. We sent it out with the new student training and everything. It's there. I'm going to put this out there. Also, really quick on housekeeping, I'm going to be doing a 5-part BRT training on the Bella Vita Monday night training starting Monday. So I'm really going to be breaking down the BRT the same way I've been building something. I'll be sharing it there. We're going to be focusing on BRT training nonstop, because that's the skill set that we need to focus on. Everything else the system does for us. Like, we've made it so simple now. The skill set that we need to focus on as far as business building is the art of communication. It's the BRT. It's the art of the BRT, which is the same thing as communication, is proper communication. So we're really going to be training on that nonstop. I'm going to be doing it for Bella Vita, directly for everybody in Bella Vita. And then obviously ongoing, we're going to be focused on that. So let everybody know, because what I'm going to be teaching it, same manner, and really awesome focus on it. And I put a lot of work in the 5-part series to really break this down. And this is stuff I've been working on for us, because now all my energy is on that. We have the system. We just plug and go, guys. We've got something, cranking. We've just got to, build people up in that area. That's where the confidence will come from. That's where the understanding comes from, the proper mindset, everything for doing a BRT. It's not as easy just reading a script. There's things behind it. And I'm going to be really focused in on that. So that's a 5-part that starts Monday. And that'll be good for everybody here. And then we're going to continue it, of course. Like, it's something we're going to need to focus on pretty much nonstop. I constantly build my skill set up with that, and I'm constantly keeping in the right mindset for it, because it's what makes the difference. Your ability to convey an idea to somebody else is so super crucial, especially in something like this. Okay. Next part of housekeeping. We're gonna go from this to the next hour, and whatever time is left after that's available. I've been asked for, Tanya, let me have her training time today. I'm gonna be training on other stuff that we need, and then we're gonna go right into it on the mini marathon. It's gonna be a good day today. Okay. So I'm here. I've got in headlines and ad training under power couple and team building. I created a folder, and I'm going to be creating it with you guys here. So you guys you'll see it being created. I like doing this from time to time, but I'm going to go here. I'm going to go new doc, create and share. And let me put this out here. And like I said, it's the same thing as, like, if you got a team member, you guys are just getting along really good and you're both just cranking this out. It's really the same thing. But there's some dynamics here that you may not have realized before, and I'm going to break it down. I'm also going to just stress a couple of things. If you're incorporated, you have a corporation, this becomes even better, because a corporation is a separate entity. Right? It's like a whole nother person, even though you're on the corporation or however you got a structure, doesn't matter. It's a separate legal entity. right? And you can put corporations in. Everything we work with, DTCA, we don't care if a husband and wife are in it. We allow it. We allow it. Velavita allows it. All right. Binary plans allow it because there's no advantage unless you do the work. Right. There's no advantage unless you do the work, and double dipping and triple. You've got to qualify both positions. So, or all 3 positions, or all 8 positions, or all 16 positions. You guys in wine, we are building 16 separate positions with different companies, and this is how we're paying for the leads. We're doing it from, it's the integrity of what we do is so solid, but we make the money the same way you're making the money, right? We're in there with you. So there's a structure that I put in place that allows me to maximize my efforts and maximize the compensation plan to fund everything going, right? And so it's a long-term plan for sure. And the more we build it right, and the more we duplicate it properly, which we've been doing, the more funds it creates, which helps the process too, right? We got all these things that feed it. So, for us, we got DTCA and the entire vision of that, and it's in its position. So as that builds and builds and builds, and we launch the brain food education, and that builds and builds and builds, it's going to press in the compensation plan the best way possible for us to fund everything, right? It's the same thing. You're trying to fund a couple, and you're doing the work. If you know how to do the work and build, this is what we're going to look at here. And we do the same for Velavita. Velavita, we went down from 16 to 8 positions because I took a reality check, and it just worked out good. So 8, and then Savings Highway Global, which is the 3x12 matrix. It's similar to the binary, but it's got 3 legs. But we're filling it in. We're doing, I think we're doing 12 positions, and that's one to really start to open up. But it's got to make sense on it all makes sense based on how many PBSs you're doing a week, and be able to support everybody you bring in. It really is important to be doing that. And so I'm gonna break this down and go into it, and you can definitely maximize past this, but I'm gonna do it in a simple way today just to make it clear. Okay, so in DTCA and Velavita, now I'm just going to speak a little bit on this. Is if you're building with like you're building as a power couple, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're both doing the building. You might be. That might be you both are great at the whole BRT and growing and building the teams. I've seen it where one's really good at the training aspect and duplication aspect. The other's really good at bringing them in, and they pass it off. That's another option. And this is something we'll break down more and more. But then the other side of it is, hey, I'm running a family. Okay. And for a power couple, mom and dad, right? Mom might be the best at recruiting, and she's going to be powering things out. Dad's going to need to step up and help the family aspect of things to allow mom to do that. And that allows that to happen. So for Tanya and I, we both had to make priority decisions. My priority is absolutely building the business and being on the forefront because that's where I fit. Tanya is doing all the stuff on the backside, making sure that the appointments are set. She's working on the whole lead flow with the kids and everything else, organizing it. But her main priority is going to be the family first, always. So she organizes the family and makes the work activities happen around that. That's what we agreed on. We wanted to make sure our priorities as a couple was being met, and for leader, the matriarch and the patriarch of the family, making sure that we were taking care of what we had, and we didn't want to let life go by and not handle those things. So we structured it accordingly, and it's all fallen into place. We have a great balance, and that balance allows you to get through blockades and stuff because you're going the same direction. It's all about communication, right? There's marketing that happens in every aspect of our life. That's why teaching somebody how to do marketing properly is where time and financial freedom really comes from. Because you don't really have time freedom if you got conflict in the family. You don't have time freedom if you have drama happening all the time. And unfortunately, we're dealing with a lot of different people, and you bring people into your family as they grow and develop and marry and all sorts of stuff. Dynamics change, right? And learning how to communicate with everybody is a challenge. But when people learn how to properly market, you learn how to properly communicate. Everything just gets better with that knowledge. It's not just for making income. It's also secure that you can continue to do that without stress and needless stress. Okay. And I'm getting deep, and I could get really deep on it because I live it. I see it, right? And we all do, but it's like, how do you organize it so that you can be prosperous in all areas of life? And being a power couple, you've got to know where your strengths are and support each other that way so that you can, dominate with what you guys want to dominate, but also don't lose balance. Right. And believe me, it's never not, it's always something that's going on and you twist it. And then the more adaptable you get to it, the more you weather it. This is what it is. And it all comes down to, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to do? And then set those guidelines and you make it a pattern. And when the pattern's set, it just really just cranks. So it's not like you're going to make this decision today and it just falls into place. You've got to be committed to making the patterns change, right? You got to be committed to the activities and make them the everyday activities. So, how many BRTs are you doing? How many things you're doing on that is crucial. And I think I need to put this on here. Establish pace. I'm doing everything I need to do to create 1 to 2 PBSs a day. One's the minimum. If I don't create a PBS in that day, something's not right. So I just know I didn't do the activities. And so I try to overachieve on the days that I can. 1 a day is a great pace. I tell everybody to do 2 to 3. That's like 2 to 3 makes everything just really hum. Like that's the critical point. And then obviously more than that. Now, if you're doing a power couple and you're balancing out each other's time and things, you can make more happen. Right. So 1 PBS student a day is going to keep all the debts away. I mean, the money is going to be phenomenal, right? Because and the duplication is going to be phenomenal. We got everything in place to feed on that. So as a power couple, 1 PBS student a day, that's that's like 5 to 6 a week. Okay. So I'll just put that 5 to 6 a week. That allows you to build multiple teams. So if it's one position, you have left team and right team. just going to write this out there and I'm going to go over this. Okay. So if it's one position, you have a left team and a right team. If you go to two positions, you have a left team or right team that now has a left or right team. And I probably should spell it out. Like I'm going to graphically do it. And watch this. I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to come here. I'm going to go insert. And we're going to go a drawing, new. And I get these cool little things to draw with. I actually love this feature. I'm going to go shapes and I want to go I avoid circles because I want more of a rounded square. So we'll go there. And we're going to do this. And we're going to fill it green. We'll go green today. And then because we're going to be doing graphics throughout this training, So what I'm referring to, and I'll do this. This is your one position. Everybody has one. But when you add another one, so whether that's your spouse or a corporation or combination, whatever it is, once you add that other leg, you got 2 legs to build now. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Right? And I probably should do this too, just to clarify. 1. You got 1, 2, 3 to build. You may not be able to build 2 for a while. So you build down 1 and you build down. Actually, this is probably better to be 3. Hold on. So you got leg 1, leg 2, and then that third leg, that's your third priority. And that's all under your main positions here, right? These are your main positions, 1 and 2. So as soon as you put your wife in a position, and I recommend putting them down like the weak leg, pay leg, because you're going to be focused on that. And as you make your pay, as you build both, you build one team at a time always. Like if you're building 2 teams, it's because you got team working. Right. And so let's say that you get started. I'm going to stress this. Let's say you're on the power side and you're building down the right here. And it's growing, right? It's I can put some more of these in here. Actually, I'll come back to that in a second. I'm going to do another one here. So you got 1, 2, and 3. Like you just know you're doing that. Now, here's the thing is patience is part of building any business, but you're building long term, meaning, okay, initially the month 1, month 2, month 3, maybe year 1, I'm going to be building the left and the right. And once they're building on their own and they're sustaining, then I start building the other side. And this has been banking volume the whole time. It's banking volume. Like we have a lot of people here that have a lot of volume on one side. That's a great problem to have, right? And if you're sharing that volume, it's great. But when you start building as a team and structuring your positions, that you want to put all the effort where it matters most. Your power team doesn't matter most because you want to maximize your compensation, and you got to look at it as a cash flow situation too. So when you're building this position here, this top position, when you're building this top position here, and you start building down this side here and you're just building one, this is starting to get paid, right? You got the binary commissions coming out there. And when one starts building on its own, And then you start building this inside leg here. Now you're making money here because you're getting all the binary pay and all the bonuses, and you're getting an override on this position or this position. It doesn't take much for that to happen to cover the minimum requirement of products. And this is something that I'm going to stress on this. See, I'm going to put product purchase. Some verses wrong. Yeah, we'll go with that. All right, so So DTCA and Bella Vita build pretty much exactly the same. And I mean, they're binaries, and they have their caveats. You got to remember in DTCA, we get overrides on our directs only up to 50% check match. It's a different check match. It's very strong on the individual thing. It was by design. And it works effectively. So when you're doing the power couple thing in DTCA, you're really getting a bonus for doing it this way. Because if you're maximizing the positions, you're getting 50% bonus on top of the work you did on the second position. Same as the people you're working with. And this is guys, and I'm going to stress this. This isn't for people that are doing this on a part-time build basis. This is like full-time. I'm making this a career. We're all in to go for the bigger money. We're focusing on, elevating the MSI Elite, and the structure that we have at RRR247. This is what this is for. And it's a power couple. Power means strong, right? We're putting a lot of effort here to maximize it. And you got overhead costs, and you guys, I don't know if you guys even understand the power that we give you guys with the marketing. We're funding your marketing. So the biggest expense that's necessary to really succeed in anything is paid marketing. We fund that for you. So when you're doing this, you just got the basic overheads of the positions which is required, right? And it's done for taxation. If it's required, we can write it off as 100% business expense versus personal consumption. All these things are done smart. And so when you take on another position, you're taking on another thing. Now, the thing that's fun about wine is if you're getting 4 bottles a month and your family drinks more than 4 bottles a month, having 2 positions, even structure where you get a case sent every 3 months and you stagger it, then you might be getting a case every month, but you have 3 positions running. Make sense? Yeah, or you can structure it however you want, or you get wine 2 out of 3 months, a case of it, and you figure that out because you have 2 positions. You balance it out, but when you're building the business, you're getting the wine for free, right? You're stacking customers, you're building the positions accordingly. Okay. And it's just something to understand. But when you're building as a power couple, if you have 2 positions that you're maximizing, what's really good about 2 positions in that is the person driving the recruiting who's being supported by someone that isn't driving the business. It equals the energy out, because as soon as you start building the other position, they start seeing a measurable fruit of the energy they're putting out, because it's hard to measure it, right? And if you're not used to this and you haven't seen it react, there can be resentment built. And I'm gonna just say this, like Tanya and I, we have multiple companies. There's ones that she's on, there's ones that I'm on, so that we can measure that and see it. And she's part of it. Even if she's not doing the front end recruiting and she's doing the back end stuff, she's part of it, and she can see a number created out of it. It's something that you want to see. You can see the fruit of that. You can see a measurable number, which is in a dollar sign. At least it's a measurable thing. It's important to have that. Otherwise, the energy doesn't get shared. Right now, we know in our family here, everybody knows, like if you're around, there is no way you don't see Tanya's contribution to the day, even though she's not doing the front end recruiting. What she does allows me to have balance, and we run this all tight together. It allows me to be a maximum producer every day because she's balancing out the other stuff. Okay. Now, case in point, different dynamics. I get to see it with Niall and Dina. They're a power couple. They're both recruiting and supporting the team together. They balance each other out very well. They are a true, go get it. Both of them diving in. They have different positions. It worked out that way anyway, but they're seeing the growth. That is awesome. But there's whatever works for your dynamic's going to work for your dynamic. They're both outgoing and they're striving in a competitive way. Awesome. But if one of them isn't that way, they're supporting roles, which are equally as important. If Tanya doesn't do the support stuff for me, I can't keep my momentum going. Not the pace that I'm at, but I can because she does that. And if anybody's watched us on the day-to-day, they'd see oh, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's taking care of this, she's taking care of that, she's managing that. So Rory can just focus on this and get the most out of the day. That's huge. But it's nice to see it measurable. So every now and then she'll look at the 2 and she's like, yeah, it's working out. And she feels like she feels like there's a reward for the stuff that she's doing. The thing I see a lot with couples is they don't see the measurable on the side. So the guy that's recruiting sees a number. He sees that measurable thing that we're all used to. The person that's doing the support doesn't see it. So having two positions, that alone, they can say, look, see the volume on the side? That's what we're building towards this. It's making a difference. It's measurable. Now, even if it's not creating a check yet, the volume's building, right? And volume is banked income. We tap into that volume once we tap in the other side and build. We start cycling, right? And, they have huge, you guys just all start gelling and making sense. And then you see all that. So, so maybe you're building one side and you look at your left side. Hey, eventually I got to build the other side. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put a position there before I start building. So then when I start building down that left side, it's going to build bank volume. I'm going to get paid commissions because I'm going to cycle on this position. I'm going to be banking on this position. And then once I get a great team going on this side here, then I start building another team here. Now I get paid here. I get bonus and paid there as well. And I can maximize. And if this is the team leg on the right, this left leg is what I need to build my team with. I have team support, but the team, not team building. They're building one side. I got to build this other side. And so if I maximize this out and do a great job, I get double bonus. That's why I like to take care of the inside leg. If you put both on the power side, then you got to build, it's the energy makes it hard. Right. And now if you're going, hey, I'm going to build this to millions of dollars a month, great. Then you can do one here, and you can maximize that power side again and do all that. That's fine. You're just committing to doing a lot, and you better be doing like 7 a week so you can balance it out. If you're adding, that's what it is. And you guys, there are 8 billion people in the planet. 8 billion. Okay. A billion is like 1,000 millions. Okay. A billion is 1,000 millions. It's a big number. Okay. There is no saturation that's going to ever happen in our lifetimes building any of the businesses we do. There are plenty of people to fill up these matrices a gazillion times over. All right. We don't need hundreds and hundreds of customers to make a decent living. But if we're going to try to help a lot of people, we're going to create that and leverage. We're going to create thousands and thousands. We do it all the time here. And thousands. We're not even up to millions yet. And yet there's 8,000 millions in the world, and we're global. So, we're talking such big numbers, right? And we have a product line that helps everybody. These tunes should be worn by everybody with a cell phone, or everybody around radiation, which is everybody. Right? So we have a marketplace of 8 billion people that could benefit from this and the products, right? That's 8,000 million. Put that in perspective. It's so big, right? So big. So, and we don't have to talk to all of them, but I'm just saying there's no saturation point. So we're talking some numbers here that make sense. And in order to justify the position, the wine has value by itself. That's why it's such a great product, right? We love our wine. And if you're getting 4 bottles, that's one position. You have a vortex, that's another position. But if you want 8 bottles a month, you can actually 8 bottles a month in a vortex. You can afford to have 3 positions for the product you want, and then you just got to make the money to cover it, and then you're cash positive. Remember, 10 I fund your marketing. So just keep that in perspective. And then when you go down here, I'm gonna show this. I'm gonna do another graphic here, but it's one of those things that it just gets better and better with the more understanding, but it's the same way we're building our teams out, right? Like if you got a great go-getter and you're helping them build that left side, as soon as that left side's going great, you help them build that inside. It's the same thing. You get the override. Now, every one of these compensation plans and the structure, they're based on the minimum. I would go back to the avatar. That's what you call your perfect customer. They're built so that people can build a hobby type income and build up to $100, $200 a month just by doing 1 or 2 a month new people. Right? Well, we can add 1 or 2 a month. A day, not a month, because we have leads, endless leads. We have tapped in to bring in people to us that want what we have. We still got to have that conversation. We still got to do the BRT. We still got to present to them. So we stack on that. Now I'm going to come back to this. We're going to cover this again and again and again until we seep it in there, and then we'll go to Q&A on this as well. In fact, we'll come back to this after our next hour. So I'm going to go for 7 minutes. I'm going to talk about Savings Highway Global. This is a whole This is like a whole different animal on this, because if you're bringing in one a day or even 2 to 3 a week, you should be maximizing Savings Highway Global. And I've been waiting to bring this up because, we got everybody in, we were taking care of, we did it right. Integrity is always going to lead me. We took care of everybody in the positions. Well, now I went through and I looked at the structure, and this makes sense now to press this and to go forward this way. So I'm going to go right here and show you. I'm going to hit insert. I'm going to do another drawing. This is your initial enrolled position. I'll put it up here at the top. And we can go 3. So that's your position. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, because it's a force matrix, everybody else that we bring in, we can stack under these. I need to go over more. Let's see. Now, as long as you have 2 personals for each position, they're active for commissions. You have to have 2 personals. 10 personals, you're active. You qualify for all 12 levels. Okay, that's gonna bug me. Hold on. So if this position, that's your position, and you refer your 1, 2, and 3, you have 4 positions, right? So maybe this is you, it's your spouse, it's your son, it's your daughter, right? Or a corporation or whatever. Maybe if you have a corporation, you put your corporation first, then you, then your spouse, then there, whatever. There's a 4th thing on there. Then you make sure each of them has 2 personals. So this one has 3 personals so far. This one would have 3. Oops. This one would have 3. This one would have 3. So at least has 2 to qualify for commissions. Okay. Because of the way it pays up, this position is $20 is more than covered. This position is almost covered. It's 3/4 of the way every month ongoing. Same with this one, same with this one. And then you can take this position and you start bringing other ones in, right? And they come in down below. And you're going to get some spillover, sure, right? And the spillover comes in. It doesn't take much for this to be cash positive. And you have multiple memberships for free. You have multiple memberships for free. Multiple memberships for free. And as you're building this long-term and filling in the matrix, sharing, get this one to 10, 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 get this one to 20, get this one to 20, get this one to 20, get this one to 20. You're maximizing your income. These will all be at the top, the 199, titanium level as it fills up. And you're going to be building multiple streams of income maximized. This is what this does. And this is, and even if you just did 2 positions and stacked under that one, that's fine. That's actually fine. The structure that we built on purpose to launch going forward, if you were just to come in here and you recruit one here, and that's your personal, and then you recruit here, and this one recruits here, and this one recruits here. That means it has 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you start stacking under here, and you don't put anybody here, and you don't put anybody here. You still get paid on all the spillover that comes from us above that are growing. So new people coming in, this is a great structure. Just if you just did 1, 2 positions each, you took a position, put your spouse below you, and you add personals, but always just stack one to your spouse. And you just build that out there. The leadership here is going to be doing spillover and going down here. So you just make sure you're making money on the 2 positions. Then you can always add another position or start growing under this anytime. But if you focus on this to get it to where you're making enough money to pay, literally, Savings Highway Global can bring the money in, you need to fund everything. Right? You know, we built it to about $5,000 a month in 4 months, stacking and going. And we didn't go after, I mean, we're putting new business in. So that's something we'll go over. All right, I'm going to pause this. For right now, we're going to come back to it to cover the structure of the plans, and we'll do some Q&A as well. But for now, let me stop this recording that's on live, and let's go to the next one because we're going to DTC hour, and